Hello everyone, I hope you all are well and having a good day so far. So if you've never made DIY candles before, definitely check out my beginner friendly video. It is perfect for getting started because today we are taking it up a notch. I'm going to show you guys how to make these elegant tapered candles. It's a bit more advanced than container candles, but trust me, it's a lot more easier than it sounds. There is some testing to do to find the right wick and the right soy combo. And while it can be a little tricky at first, it is so much fun once you get the hang of it. Trust me, I've done my fair share of trial and error, and today I am so excited to share with you what I've learned, the mistakes I've made, and a few simple tricks that really made a difference. So you can make tapers that not only burn beautifully, but also look stunning on a shelf or even in your future candle business. So before we get started on today's video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel down below, hit that thumbs up, and with all of that said, let's get to it. Now let's talk wax. If you want the best taper candles, I highly recommend 100% beeswax. Unlike paraffin, which burns quickly, gives off smoke, and can be toxic, beeswax burns clean with no smoke or soot. Now beeswax comes in two main types, yellow and white. Yellow comes from younger bees and it has this beautiful golden hue thanks to natural pigments. And white beeswax actually comes from older bees and it is filtered to give it that clean, pale look. Yellow beeswax has a lovely natural honey scent, while white beeswax has a super subtle fragrance. So if you are into dyeing your candles, white beeswax is perfect for vibrant colors, while yellow beeswax is ideal if you love the natural honey scent and this beautiful golden timeless yellow taper look. And I also love beeswax because it burns slowly and gives off this beautiful golden bright light, and it lasts longer because it has a high melt point. But it can be a little bit tricky to work with because it hardens fast, which can make wicking a little bit difficult, especially for beginners. That's why soy wax is a popular choice for first timers, because soy wax is super easy to work with, melts smoothly, and it cleans up easily with soap and water, and it doesn't harden fast. Plus, soy wax is great for scented candles because it has the best scent throw. But for tapers, it's really not good. It burns too quickly and it drips too much. Now to get the right blend for tapers, I did some testing. So first I went for 100% soy wax and it was a total disaster. The candles were too soft, super hard to remove from the molds, and broke easily. And the one I was able to save burnt way too fast. So then I went for a 50-50 blend of soy wax and beeswax. And it was a little bit better. I was able to remove the candles successfully, but still melted way too quickly. A taper made of this blend lasted only about 3 hours. So finally I found the sweet spot with 75% beeswax, 25% soy wax. Now a taper made of this blend lasted about 5 hours, which is good. But then when I went for 100% beeswax, I was hooked. A taper made of 100% beeswax lasted over 7 hours with minimum drips and no issues at all. Alright, now let's dive in with 100% beeswax to show you guys how the whole process is done. So first things first, we need to melt our wax. So you can go the classic route and use a double boiler, but if you're like me and you want to make your life a whole lot easier, definitely grab yourself one of these dedicated wax melter. This one is my favorite. It has an LED temperature display, a built-in thermometer, and even it has a built-in spout for pouring. I like it. I'll make sure to link it in the info box below. Now beeswax melts at a higher temperature, so I usually like to set my temperature to 180 Fahrenheit and will keep an eye on it. Now while my wax is melting, let's talk molds. Taper molds come in hard plastic or silicone, and honestly they both work well if you've got the right mix and the right wax. Today I'll be using both of them, and usually while my wax is heating up, I like to prep my molds and add the wick. For tapers, go with cotton square braided wicks. They were actually specifically designed for use in beeswax taper candles. They burn clean with no smoke or soot. But here's the key. Wick size is crucial. Too small and your candle won't burn hot enough, creating a tunnel. Too big and you will have a fast, large flame with smoke and soot. So for 3/4 of an inch tapers like the one I'm making today, I recommend you go with size 2-0. But if you're making 1-inch tapers, go with size 1-0 instead. Now take your wick and feed it through the bottom of the mold. Secure the base and seal the hole with mold body. I'm using this one that I bought from Lowe's, but if you don't have that, Play-Doh works just fine. Now feed the wick through the mold and bring it to the top. This cap allows you to wrap the wick around itself to keep it nice and centered. Alright, now here's a little secret. Warming up your molds before pouring your wax helps with even cooling. So you can use a heat gun to do this, or you can just pop your molds in the oven at 170 degrees Fahrenheit for just like 5 to 10 minutes or until they are warm to the touch. Now once your wax is melted and ready to go, you can carefully pour it into your molds. Make sure to pull the wick tight and get rid of any slack and center it at the top. Also, after pouring, give your mold a gentle tap to release any air bubbles that might have sneaked in there. Now save a little bit of wax in your container in case you need to do a second pour. Beeswax tends to shrink a lot more than soy wax, especially in a tall, narrow molds like this, which can create sinkholes or those pesky tunneling effects around the wick. But here's the thing, don't freak out if you get sinkholes. It happens to everyone, even the pros. I did a ton of research and I tried everything to avoid sinkholes. Trust me, I went down every rabbit hole. People will tell you to pour your wax at lower temperatures. I tried every temperature from 135 to 160, but honestly that didn't work for me. Not only my candles still got sinkholes, but if you pour too cool, you will end up with textured surfaces. So here's the secret. Sinkholes are basically unavoidable. So the best trick is to do a second pour, especially if you have a lot of shrinkage. You can heat up your wax a bit more for the second pour and go hotter than the first one. That sometimes works. But hey, if a sinkhole still appears, don't freak out. You can just grab a heat gun or a blow dryer and gently reheat the surface to smooth it all out. Now it's time to let your candles cool down. Don't rush this step. They really need to sit at room temperature for a couple of hours. Trust me, patience is key here. But while we wait for these to cool down, we can do another batch. So here I've got a blend of 75% beeswax and 25% soy wax. We're about to melt it down and get going. And if you're feeling fancy, you can add your color at this point. I'm going to go with a little bit of pink. Just a heads up though, if you're using dye, it will dry a lot lighter than it looks when it's melted. So don't be surprised when you see it set. And I should mention, as far for fragrance oil, you can add fragrance oil if you'd like, but it's really not necessary for tapers. Here's why. Taper candles are too small. The melt pool is teeny, so the scent really doesn't have room to spread. That's why usually taper candles are unscented, because it's just really not cost effective to make scented tapers, and if you try, it won't be strong at all. But if you still want to do it, I just recommend you add the fragrance oil at 185 degrees Fahrenheit. This is like the magic number for the wax and the fragrance oil to bond together and give you the best scent through. And the general rule is to add 6%, which is about 1 ounce per pound of wax. And now while we wait for the wax to melt down, we can prep our mold. I'm going to show you guys how to prep these silicone mold. So when you buy these brand new, you're going to have to open a hole for the wick. You can use a needle or any bulky tool. Just make sure it is centered. And now you can cut a wick to the size and just feed it through the mold and bring it to the top. Now carefully pour your melted wax into the mold and go slow here to avoid adding air, which can mess with the even cooling. And if you see any air bubbles, just tap the sides of the mold gently to release them. Now these holders I bought separately from Amazon, and I really like them because they are strong enough and long enough to hold any wick straight and centered. If you have extra wax left over, don't toss it. You can pour it into tea light tins or small silicone molds like these. You can use these for testing or to make little bonus candles. Now here's a little trick to make unmolding a breeze. Once your candles are fully cooled, you can just pop them in the fridge for about 15 to 20 minutes. The cold helps the wax to shrink just enough so you're able to pull the candle out easily with hardly any effort. Alright guys, once your candle is out, you can trim the wick down to about 1/4 of an inch on the top and trim the bottom. And voila! You've got your very own handmade taper candle. Now one last thing, you really have to let your candles cure for about a week before burning them because they are not fully solidified yet and they are still a bit soft. So burning them too soon will make them melt way too fast. Alright guys, once you start making your own candles, trust me, you'll be hooked. I absolutely love taper candles, whether they are twisted or plain. Sure, you can buy tapers at the store, but there's something so special about making your own. Right now, I'm really excited to try hand-dipping tapers because I know this is one of the oldest and most hands-on methods for making tapers. But I honestly imagine it to be so therapeutic as well because you are building your taper layer after layer and you are surrounded with that warm golden beeswax. I bet it's such a vibe. So if you'd like to see that next, let me know in the comments. But with this, we complete this video, my friends. I hope that you all enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please thumbs it up, consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!